Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast. I'm here as always with my trusty co-host Ollie Butler Henderson. How are you today?
I'm all good, all relaxed. Now I have my tickets.
Yes, I also have my tickets too. I mean,
Sorry for everyone who hasn't yet.
yes, the season tickets sold out quickly, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they were gone by about mid-afternoon or something like that. But yeah, some
Yes,
of us got a bit lucky and had them purchased for us yesterday.
yes.
I think there was a little bit of admin error that
I
side, wasn't
believe
it?
me and you were both in that cohort, were we not?
Oh yes, I've worked it out that me and Kelly have got 3 games in 3 games, 3 games in 3 weeks. One in Boston, two at Tottenham.
And then the Jags after that, or not?
Yeah, Jags on the 30th, isn't it? Or something silly like that.
Yeah,
Halloween, I think. But yeah, can't wait.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
want the season to start now.
Yes.
How are you, Mr.
Now,
Hope?
I'm good. Been a good week.
It has indeedy. It has indeedy, mate.
Although we do need to open the podcast with some quite sad news, don't we?
Yeah, it is. The
So
founder, shall we say?
for those of you that missed our statement that we put out earlier this week, Tom has decided that due to work commitments and other commitments, he's going to have to step back from hosting the show.
Yeah. Some might say, has he actually ever hosted the show? But he has. I mean, he started to set this up way back in February last year. No, 2020.
2021.
21. It was 21, wasn't it? Last
It
year.
was last year.
Yeah.
We're only one.
Wow.
I know I'm the only one that made an effort for our birthday with the party hats, but we are only one.
I didn't have any balloons, otherwise I had some balloons going on, but yeah. So yeah, we went live via Spotify. I think it was like March the 16th or something still like that. It wasn't long after the season started or season ended.
I remember I was in my London apartment for the first ever show, which shows how long ago it was.
Yeah, I mean, good evening, Dave. You're more than welcome to comment on the show. Good evening. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, Tommy. He's had his ups and downs, including getting punched in the face a couple of times.
Yes.
For charity, but he's decided it's time to step away. He may reappear every now and then. We got to have a resident Viking fan some a long time, haven't we?
Yes.
Dave will fill in every now and then as well. Obviously, he won't be there. He's not here tonight. He's got child commitment and a poorly little one, so he's not on with us tonight. So it's just back to OC and J Bell again.
Yes.
Still need to get my OC shirt up here.
Yes.
Definitely do. It's been quiet on the news side, hasn't it? We will start with
NBA's taken center stage this week, really, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Kevin Durant needing a trade and free agent frenzy tonight.
But Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, has a new deal.
Yes.
3-year deal, 70 million.
Surely that's got to be the floor for Debo now.
It has. That is where it's got to be. It puts him firmly into the top 10 now of wide receivers.
Yes.
It's 70 million. It's 34.6 million guaranteed. 53.15 in guarantees. So obviously playing structure and all that, and he's got a 28 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
This guy has had 3 seasons, 1,000 yards a season over the last 2 seasons, 16 touchdowns, and he's scored just over 3,000 yards, 4 seasons. Just over 3,000 yards and 222 receptions. Considering he's had Heineke, Fitzpatrick, and all the other trash QBs they've had in Washington, that isn't bad. Not bad stats at all. What could he have done?
This guy is a top 10 receiver.
Oh yeah, most definitely is, and they are paying him. I think they've got a better quarterback now than what they've had, if he makes the right choices, and he doesn't throw it for a pick six in his end zone.
I'm not going to make a comment because I'm very low on Wentz.
Yeah, I think I put him probably the highest out of the three of us, didn't I, last week?
Yes, I think you did. I had him very low.
If, like I said, if Reich can get him back to not Reich, if
Rivera.
Ron Rivera can get him back to that year they went to the Super Bowl and Nick Foles won them in the Super Bowl, I think they've got a good quarterback there, and he will take them to the next level.
He's already tried with Reich and it didn't work out.
Yeah, I think Ron Rivera is a better coach personally, but yeah, as you said, that is the floor for Debo and DK now, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're the two that's holding out really more than anything else, aren't they?
I know we're going to go on to what Kittle said, but I'm going to talk about something else Kittle said, which was, if I were the Niners, I'd have tried to get a deal done towards the end of last season for Debo because Christian Kirk exploded the market.
Christian Kirk's inflated the market more than it should have, because Christian Kirk's not a top 10 receiver, and he's got top receiver pay money, which is ridiculous.
It's because the Jags need to pay somebody to actually want to join the Jags.
The thing is, though, Jags could have gone out and got a top class wide receiver in this rookie class.
Yeah,
He's going to be better than Christian Kirk, in my opinion.
It's like when I was doing the free agency, I was going to send somebody to the Jags, but I was like, they probably wouldn't want to go there.
Yeah, I've got a free agent going to the Jags, but it's a lineman, which is fine, which I think is what they need. One thing I want to know it's been brought up quite a bit this week, the last couple of weeks, more than anything else. Why hasn't Jimmy left San Francisco yet? If they are so sold on Trey, why haven't they gone? Why haven't they sold him yet or traded him away?
Well, because he's injured. And we're not going to release him because Seattle will pounce on him and we don't want him to go to Seattle.
I think that's Baker's destination, personally. Yeah. I think they're not sold on Trey. More than anything else. As Dave just voidly agrees with me just at the right time there. I agree. I do not think they're sold on Trey Lance yet.
I'm going to trust the noises coming out of San Francisco saying that Trey's our starter.
I think he is his starter because Jimmy can't throw him for another month, can he?
No, he's going to throw in the next couple of weeks, apparently.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see when we hit pre-season, because starters will not be starting the first couple of weeks, will they? And
the big question I have out of San Francisco is, what's happened to Dee Ford being released? Why hasn't he been released? They said there'll be a physical at the end of the week and then he'll be released, and that hasn't happened.
Dave brought something else up. So
yeah, I've seen a lot of talk about this the past couple of days, actually.
If Watson gets a year ban, which looks very likely that it is going to happen,
I've seen some rumblings about.
Could the Browns go for Jimmy? I
have seen some rumblings about this on Twitter.
I can't see that happening. I think they're going to try and mend a few bridges.
Baker's too proud to mend the bridges, though.
I think Baker's pretty much on that boat to Seattle now, isn't he? Or on that plane to Seattle. Wrong part. Yeah.
For them to mend bridges, it needs to go both ways.
It does. I think it does. It really does now. And I don't think Baker wants to be there now. He wants out, doesn't he? Really does want out now.
Baker will not be there. Baker will never start another game for Cleveland.
This could be interesting if he starts.
Jacoby Brissett.
Although saying that, I'm going to go back to Jimmy. Have you heard what Julian Edelman had said about him?
Well, it wasn't really what Julian Edelman said. It was what the other guy whose name I'm forgetting said, and Julian Edelman was just commenting on it, agreeing with it.
Yeah, but if he was all set to start, and he said he hurt his shoulder, but yet, Jacoby played with a sprained thumb in his throwing hand, which isn't good for quarterbacks.
No. Apparently, like Jimmy's agent was trying to protect his body or something.
which is stupid. Obviously they were expecting a trade. I think that's what got him the trade because he didn't want to play in that game. And Jacoby even got hurt in that game as well.
He was traded the next year.
Yeah, I think that's what got him traded. Because he went
so you're saying that New England wanted the trade?
Earlier than then. And I think that's when it only came through.
Okay, I'm thinking that San Francisco wanted the trade because we needed a QB. And I mean, I think we've got a second round pick value out of Jimmy.
Oh, all day long. How many Super Bowls, how many playoffs, how many playoff wins has he got? He is a winning quarterback. And he is a good quarterback, and he's proven. And I think it's unfair that they've just pretty much thrown him under the bus for Trey.
I
don't think they trust on Trey.
5 playoff wins, 6 playoff wins.
Something like that. Shall we say in San Francisco and go what your tight end number one's been on about?
Yeah. This caused a lot of discussion on our socials, didn't it?
It has. So Kevin Hart has I think it's a YouTube channel, isn't it? A YouTube show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Called Cold as Balls, which is brilliant. Basically, he sits in an ice bath with celebrities, sports stars. It's quite good. I'd watch it and all that. Watch the George Kittle one because he takes me at Kevin Hart's height pretty much within the first 11 seconds of the show.
I mean, that's what everyone does.
Which is always funny. Yeah, exactly. So Kittle has said, we've gone up an extra game. We should have an extra bye to rest the bodies, to get the bodies to have the better players playing in the postseason.
I mean, I don't disagree, because as Kittle said, it's an extra week of football.
Exactly. It is an extra week of football.
An extra week of TV deals. And if it helps get the best players at their peak playing, that's what the fans want to see.
Just think, if we had an extra bye this season, Derrick Henry would have been an extra week away for Tennessee. Could have been an extra week fitter. We could have seen a completely different outcome in that game against Cincinnati. But if you think about it, Kittle has said over the last season, he spent $200,000 on keeping his body fit and healthy. And
he was still on IR for 3 weeks.
Exactly. He's missed 13 games since 2019 through injury, through combat. I was watching The Herd and I really don't like that show because I hate the bloke on it. But
can we not talk about Colin, please?
Yeah. But what they did say is it's easier to add an extra week than it is to cut games down. Like the NBA are trying to do at the moment. The players want it down from 84 to 68 games.
82
to 68 games. So it is easier to add an extra week than it is to take weeks off. As you said, it's an extra week of football.
Colin is Colin is not a G. Colin is the NFL's answer to Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Just because he's pro-Pats does not make him a good guy.
He's not pro-Pats. He hates the Pats. I said Pats.
He hates the NFL.
We've got to remember that the NFL tried this in 1993. They tried 2 byes in 1993 and it failed due to poor scheduling. Now, I've been thinking about this. The way they can do it is 17 games. So you have first 2-3 weeks and then everyone has a bye. Then week 9, every single game plays. Every single team plays week 9. Then you have another 2-3 weeks when there's more byes, and then you have the last 2-3 games of the season, and then it's that. I think that's the only way they can do it without messing up the schedule too much. Yeah. So you have one half of the season, second half of the season, and everyone has a bye in there.
I don't think they can complain that there's not going to be enough good games on, because the least viewed NFL game this regular season had more views than the most viewed NBA regular season game this year.
Agreed. And it had more games than the Stanley Cup from last year, which is the ice hockey.
Yeah.
The NFL is the most watched sport in America. The Super Bowl is the most watched sport. One of the most watched games, apart from the FA Cup final, in the world. Even when Nadal and Federer played in Wimbledon, when that was the highest Wimbledon viewings in the world, it still didn't compete to what the Super Bowl was. The NFL has a massive draw. It's shown today with how quick the NFL tickets sold over here. It is a worldwide sport now. Giving the players fans extra games isn't a bad thing. You can see them now, the NFLPA, which is the Players Association, whatever it's called over there, kind of going, okay, 2 weeks by, let's have 18 games. That's probably going to be the trade-off, I think.
That's probably the fair trade-off too.
That means we'll have 20 weeks of regular season.
Yes.
Which is awesome. I mean, we do want to see the best players playing in the playoffs. You don't want to see like Aaron Donald or someone like that, or that caliber sat on there.
Or Dave, they could easily just start the week earlier, 2 weeks of preseason.
Yeah, there is a bank holiday in
it's
February,
Labor,
doesn't it?
It's not Labor Day, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah, which ideal. People have Monday off anyway. Go for it. Put them in there. It is a good choice. So everyone will say that late, no worry about work. Awesome. In America, anyway, in the UK and the rest of the world, where we don't have a bank holiday in February, no. it's good. I mean, so I like the idea. I am pro. Yeah, I mean, this is what Kittle said. I'll put the picture up now. 17 games is a lot. It's a lot of games with one bye. He's an advocate of 2 games. The physical toll you feel it week in and week out.
I'm gonna point to a game in the Niners Super Bowl run a couple of seasons ago. We played Atlanta. I think it was either the second or third last game of the season. We had a bye week 4.
Yeah,
we looked absolutely exhausted. We lost to Atlanta by 3 points.
Yeah,
we looked exhausted.
That's the issue now. If you are having a bye week 4, week 5, week 6, you've then got the possibility of 10 games, even if you don't make the number 1 seed now, possibly 13, 14 games, and then you go all the way to the Super Bowl without a week off.
Because I was
hard.
I was there like, we need number 1 or 2 seed because we need a break.
Yeah, exactly. We sat in the stadium. You can hear the hits.
Yes.
They do hit hard. It's not, people go, it's the padding, it's the padding. It's not just the padding. If you've got a 300-pound bloke running at another 300-pound bloke, you're going to hear them. Yeah. They're not exactly slow. Even these big guys are running 40 in 5 seconds, in under 5 seconds in some cases. There needs to be some kind of trade-off now. Yeah, okay, let's have an extra week. We've got an extra game with football. Let's have another week. They just try and work it out.
I know a lot of people on our socials were saying no, but I'm with you. I think another week would help.
Most definitely. As Dave says here, if I just bring it up, 70s week 16 or 17 now could use Sylvester Stites if they have locked number 1 in.
I can't see any teams locking number 1 in though. I feel like there are enough good teams in both conferences for that not to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't happen now, does it?
When it was 1 and 2, then yes, but number 1 only getting the bye. I think Green Bay might have locked it up last season with 1 game to go.
Yeah, they did.
But I can't see it happening a lot.
There was still permutations in the NFC where, Kansas could get it, Tennessee could get it, It is hard. And also that it affects the bottom end of the draft as well, or the top end of the draft, whichever you want to call it as well, if they are resting players. I mean, there's a reason why starters do not play in preseason games. Right, it's like Julian Edelman played half a game in 2014 in preseason, blew his knee out.
Yeah,
conference season.
Yeah.
There's a reason why starters do not play in the NFL.
Starters usually play about 3 quarters and 3 preseason games, maybe as a push.
The quarterbacks play just to get a bit of connection with their rookies and with their receivers, but
They'll probably
It's literally half a game at the very
Yeah.
most. Or one
quarterbacks will
drive.
probably play one drive a game.
Yeah, that
If
is it.
that.
And let's get the rookies in. Let's get the veins and go from there.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is. I think it's a very good idea and fair play to him to bring it up. It is now, okay, yes, George Kittle is a big player in this NFL, but you need the likes of someone like Tom Brady coming out and saying, oh, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, the big name, the big
To get
names.
Goodell to listen, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. Well, even the head coach, even the coach is going now. Can we get a second week? We've got players dying out here now, literally. Let's get a few extra weeks on there and go from there.
I mean, college have 2 or 3.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
But still. Let's look at our top 5 of the week. I think we've got 2 the same on that. And have you got Dave's to hand as well? Because he has given it.
Yes, I do.
Okay, shall we go 5-1?
Okay.
Yep, let's go 5-1. Would you like to give Dave's number 5?
Dave's number 5 is the Super Bowl coach, Sean McVay.
Sean McVay, makes sense. Makes sense.
I mean,
Good. It's a good call.
Yeah.
You know, he's 2 out of the last 3 years. He's gone to the Super Bowl, hasn't he? So, wouldn't be surprised at all.
Personally, I have him higher, but
I've got him higher as well. But we'll go. It's that one there. We'll go from there. My number 5, I have got Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel is number 6 for me.
See, I
As
think
Dave was saying, Sean McVay is young and has done very well.
for a player for Mike Vrabel, for me, for a team that is an average team, they've got an average quarterback, and they've always got to playoffs the last 3 or 4 years now.
Yes.
You know, so that's my reason why he's gone. Here, I've put him Mike Vrabel in there.
So my number 5 is Sean McDermott.
Oh, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and if the coin flip had gone differently, he might have been a bit higher.
Fair enough.
I mean, he's done incredibly well. I feel like he needs at least some credit in making Josh Allen the player he is today and building a great roster.
It's going to be interesting now because obviously his main coach is gone. His main offensive coach is gone. How's it going to go? How's it going to go now?
It's going to be interesting.
Down to go on laptop again. It's going to be interesting. Who's Dave got at number 4?
He's got John Harbaugh.
I've got exactly the same. John Harbaugh as well. Second most tenured coach in the NFL. The longest, obviously behind Belichick. He's great at building defenses. Always has a really good defense out there. And he's always has above average offense. Even when they had Flacco, who took him to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, they've got.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Sorry, had to. They've got, they always have a good offense. Even when Lamar Jackson was out, they still had a good offense this last season.
As Dave said, consistent and a defense machine.
Defense, he gives always. And he builds it from back to front. He builds it from the secondary forward, which is mighty impressive, really impressive. Your number 4?
It is Zach Taylor.
Runner-up Super Bowl head coach.
I mean, he turned the roster around that was hopeless a couple of seasons ago and took them to the Super Bowl this season.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my number 3 is he's drafted really well. He's drafted some really good players.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase are 2 of them.
McPherson.
Yeah, Evan McPherson.
Everyone forgets about how he was traded at number 5 or drafted at the 5th round.
Money Mac himself, Kelly's favorite player.
It is. I think it's everyone's favorite player. To be fair, when you walk up to take kickers, it looks like we're going to the Super Bowl. That's some balls on him.
Yeah.
Cam Bates is another one as
Jesse Bates.
Jesse
Or-
Bates. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another one.
Cam Bates plays for someone else, I think.
Yeah, very much so. David's number 3.
David's number 3 is the same as my number 3 in Mike Tomlin.
Steelers.
Yeah, I mean he's never had
longevity.
He's never had a losing season.
That is awesome. I think that might come to a crushing end this year. And that's nothing to do with Kenny Pickett or anything like that. I think Big Ben gives you those extra couple of games. Even when he wasn't exactly Big Ben of old school, he still gives you that thing at the end, doesn't he? He is a very, very good head coach. And he's won the Super Bowl in his second or third year, didn't he? The Steelers. But yeah. My number 3, Sean McVay. He is Super Bowl twice in 3 years, once with Jared Goff. He is a great offensive play caller, and you can tell that by the coaches that have left him from under him, have gone on to bigger jobs.
But let's just not forget that Shanahan made him.
I was about to say that, I just think for what he's done, he makes ballsy calls with his trades as well. Bring in like the Von Miller, brings in the likes of Odell Beckham.
F the draft picks.
Exactly. I know the draft is more of the GM or the trades and all that, more the GM, but he's got to almost sign off. Yeah, he's got to sign off on these players, hasn't he?
Yeah.
More than anything else. But yeah.
Sean McVay is my number 2.
Sean, any reasons?
Well, we just had a conversation about him, all the reasons we just said.
Just wondering why you're going to put him a little bit higher. Who is David's number 2?
David. I dropped him to 5 as he laughed at our draft pick. Well, we all know it was a very strange pick.
I think Sean McVay might have had a little bit of Prosecco that day.
Yeah, I think
he was a little bit drunk that day. It was quite funny.
It was.
We're going to take you 159 or whatever it was, wasn't it? So it's like that. But yeah, I mean, he did later come out and say a lot of people we spoke to had Cole Strange go in the top 50 anyway. It's just the fact that he went in the first round, it's like people are like, oh, what are you doing? But yeah. Time will tell. That guy will be a Pro Bowler in a couple of years, if not next year.
So your number 2?
Your number 2 is, who was Dave's number 2 again, sorry?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. I've gone for Andy Reid as well.
I think that means we all agree on number 1 then.
Yeah. Andy Reid is a very good offensive mind.
This guy was also an honorable mention for me too.
Really?
I just feel like Patrick Mahomes has maybe carried him a bit.
Interesting to see what they're like this year without Tariq.
Yes.
Obviously, because that is your little level of X factor there, isn't it, in your offense, your spark. Someone who can run, 100 meters in under 10.5 seconds. It's quick. He's always going to find that yard of space, It's ridiculous. But, as you said, they've still got Kelsey. They've still got MVS. They're going to have Juju in there as well now.
I think MVS and Juju are both good receivers. However, I don't think either of them are number 1 receivers.
Kelsey is going to be his number 1.
Yeah, I feel like MVS and Juju are both top end WR2s.
See, Dave says Juju needs to step up.
Well, somebody needs to.
I'm gonna say, because remember the season before he started dancing on TikTok, so a couple of seasons ago, his second year, the guy was off the charts. He was in the top 5. He was in the top 5 in most of the wide receiver categories. He was in the top 10 for the rest of them. He is quick. He's got very good hands, and he's a very good route runner. He's a good end zone target or red zone target as well. I think they've got an absolute steal there for, they've got him for a couple of years, haven't they?
Yeah.
Down there. So I think they've done really well, and I think he will be the number 1 go-to guy probably by the end of the season for KC.
He just needs to stay focused on the task at hand.
Yeah, but he's got Patrick Mahomes' brother to play with now, and they've already done TikTok dances together, crying out loud.
As David does have a point, though.
Very true. Very true. And I think you'll see a lot of heat now on the big guy, Big 87.
Kelsey, yes.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Dave and me and you has the GOAT at number 1.
Tom Brady.
The coaching GOAT.
Shanahan. Sorry. If we're talking about the GOAT, Bill Walsh.
The hooded one. That sounded really wrong.
Yes,
the Sith Lord.
Yes, I have Bill Belichick at number 1.
Yeah.
And so does David.
What can we not say about this guy that has not been said already? Or what can we say about this guy who's not been said already? Is ridiculous, isn't he? He is. I think he's won pretty much every record we can get. You know. Have I been on McVay's per second? I'm guessing that's aimed at you.
Yes, I think it was.
Love it. Yeah, he's.
Kelly's right.
That killed you to say that. Yeah, he's won every record. He's won 8 Super Bowls.
The only thing this guy isn't good at is media.
Yeah, he is. On Cincinnati. I think we've had footballers say less than he does.
Yeah, but he never looks like he's enjoying media.
Why would you enjoy media? Come on. No one would enjoy media, really, do they? But yeah, he is a great. And I mean, there's going to be a time when he's going to move upstairs.
There will be.
There's going to be a time where he steps away. And I think the game would be very different without him if he wasn't in there now.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd have a Tom Brady if it wasn't for Belichick.
Well, the interesting thing is, there would be the age-old question I don't think I'll ever get answered is, did Brady make Belichick or did Belichick make Brady?
I think it is 6 1 half dozen the other. Yeah. As Dave said, his defenses are always in the top. He, as Dave just said there, he makes adjustments on the fly. They could be 25 points down or 28-3 down in like a quarter and a half to go in a Super Bowl and still win the game. That's what Belichick can do.
As Dave said, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I feel like this time last season we would have been saying it's 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting this year because I think TB12 will be falling off a cliff at some time.
I feel like I've been saying that for the last 4 years.
I think the NFL has been praying for that for the last 4 years.
Yeah, David, that is one of my best games ever too.
It is. It is one of the best games, along with Rams against Kansas in the Coliseum.
I really thought you were going to say Rams against Pats then.
No, Rams against Kansas City in the Coliseum. That is probably one of the best games ever.
What do you think about this comment, Ollie?
I think he is correct, but the noise that's coming out of New England, what Jason Courtney is saying on Good Morning Football this week, that they are now having fun because they've got this young guy who is a young quarterback in that shoot, and they are now having fun in that locker room. They absolutely love Mac Jones in New England. They have fun with him. He's got the respect of he won that job. He won the locker room before week 1 even started.
Yes.
So,
but do you think Brady never had fun at the Patriots?
Oh, he did. He did have fun. And I think they always had fun. It's just that thing that came out. Both of them wanted to win so much. As I'm wearing my Patriots top one side. They both wanted to win so much that took over anything else. I'm not saying that Mac and Bill don't want to win because everyone wants to win. But they were chasing records. The last 5 years in that Brady era at Foxborough, they were chasing records.
I do agree with you, David. I do think he seems more loose now. And apparently putting more videos on Insta and Twitter.
Yeah. I think he's learning his brand is getting bigger now, and this is what he wants to do because there's Brady brand. He's got a clothing brand out now, so he obviously wants more things out there.
I think maybe it's he knows he's coming to the end,
Yeah.
so is trying to expand his brand.
Needs to be done.
Yeah, it's smart business.
Although he's got 200 odd million in the bank, I think he's okay.
And
Should we go on to our?
He's got a 10-year contract with Fox.
Shall we go on to our final little section of the show tonight?
It's going to be a quick show tonight.
Oh, well, I don't know. We could go on for this quite a while because it looks like we've all got different ones on this one.
I've got two of the same as Dave.
I haven't got these in any order. I've just gone bang, bang, bang.
I've also not got them in order.
So I'm going to go from top to bottom.
Okay.
And I'm starting on an offensive lineman, ex-New Englander, and it's Nate Soldier, the left tackle, who's now left New York Giants. New York Giants, get me right. I reckon Jacksonville will be a very good place to go to him. Still has he's a left tackle. Always incredibly important to have left and right tackles on your line. Very good left and right tackles. 10 years in the NFL, 146 games. He's taken just under 8,716 snaps. It's the only stats you can really get on a lineman.
Yeah.
They don't really do scoring or pass deflections or anything like that. Who have you gone for? Who's on the top of your list?
I'll go top to bottom. My first person is J.C. Tretter, formerly of the Browns.
Yeah.
He's a centre. And after the Alex Mack news, I do think the logical place to send him is San Francisco.
How many of your players you got going to San Francisco?
He's the only one.
Okay, just checking. Yeah, it's good.
I don't have his stats down, but the only issue is apparently he doesn't train much due to bad ankles and knees, which could be an issue with Trey Lance being a first-year quarterback.
Yes, that would be a very dishy.
Probably,
issue.
Which I think is part of the reason he's not gone to the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to have a very mobile quarterback. You're not going to want your lineman chasing him if you've got dodgy, or you going down the field blocking for him if you've got dodgy knees and dodgy ankles.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. Dodgy knees and all that. Biscuit knees, my kids call me.
I call you glass knees.
Yeah. Who's Dave's? One of Dave's.
Dave's first one is actually my second one, which is the offensive tackle Dwayne Brown from Seattle. And funnily enough, we actually both have him going to the same place.
Where is?
Indianapolis.
I could see that.
I mean, I feel like he's a top left tackle, one of the best in the league. Not as good as Trent Williams, but one of the best in the league. So he's going to want to go somewhere where he has a chance to win a Super Bowl. And I feel like Indy have that chance.
Even with Matty Ice, who could fall off the cliff any moment. Because Matty Ice, at the end of last season, started to look like a 40-year-old bloke, I think
Matty Ice was throwing to nobody last year.
Yeah, but he was starting the last game. He started to look like it could have been because he had a long season. They had an early bye because of playing in London. But he started to look like an older guy then.
Yes, but they have the pieces there to potentially make it to the Super Bowl. And Dave, no, Jimmy is not mobile. I was referring to Trey Lance.
He's obviously reckoning that Jimmy's going to start.
Yeah, he said that last week. So that's my second one out the way too.
My second one is Cole Beasley.
Okay.
I was shocked when this guy was released from Buffalo.
I feel like his COVID stance is part of this. I'm not gonna lie.
As I said to you or you guys in the group chat, that shouldn't take away what's on the field. His on-field stuff is brilliant. He's only been in the league 7 years now. He's played 149 games, just over 5,000 snaps. He's had 550 receptions for 5,709 yards and 34 touchdowns. He's a great route runner. He'd be brilliant lining up in the slot. And I would take him in New England as a good slot runner. He is I would say probably a poor man's version of Jules.
Yeah,
and I could probably see his landing spot, probably somewhere like Detroit. I think that'd be a good place for him to go. Good security blanket for Jared to drop down to and things like that.
Yeah.
And he was really good off for Josh last year.
Dave's number 2, I believe you also have in your list. And the only reason that I didn't include him is because I think it's pretty clear he's not going anywhere. And that's OBJ.
Yeah. We've both going back to LA, haven't we?
Well, he has him going to LA or to New England.
Kelly really wants him back in New England. And it could be.
Matt Judon, the GM, needs to get on the phone. Did you guys see that picture that Odell put on? Was it Twitter the other day?
No.
It was him in an LA uniform helping up him in a Browns uniform off the ground.
That's actually quite cool. I haven't seen that. I'm going to have to look at that. That's quite cool. Yeah, I think Odell to LA would make sense.
Yes.
Personally. Really does make sense. But yeah, so he's my 5th selection. Sean McVay loves him. The whole offensive coaching staff loved him. He loved the area down there. He could go to New Orleans.
You better hope he doesn't go to the Pats, Ollie.
Yeah. There we go. Vox up a bloody week 3 against New Ravens when we're there. I'll be having a few things said to me.
Okay, shall we move on to another wide receiver? My number 3?
Yep.
Will Fuller. He was pretty non-existent last year.
I even forgot he was playing, to be fair, sometimes.
But he was suspended for most of it. I still feel like he's a good wide receiver, and he's quick. He's very quick.
See, obviously, he was behind D-Hop, wasn't he, when he was when D-Hop was at Texas?
Yes.
Yeah, he is quick, but I haven't got his stats in front of me, so I can't see it off the top of my head. I've got another wide receiver in there, but
I'll just say that I have him going to a wide receiver needy team, and the one I went with was Cleveland.
Cleveland, New York Jets Giants could be another one as well.
Yeah, I mean, Houston, go back to Houston.
Dave's for.
Yeah, it might be the Odell Beckham thing.
We'll share it on our socials later on as well, Dave.
Yes.
Crack on that, Dave. Put it on the socials, Dave. Who has Dave got as his 3rd choice?
His 3rd choice. He has Julio.
I could see Julio stepping away from the game.
I don't think he will. And he's got Julio going to the Packers.
That draw of Aaron Rodgers taking everyone's money. I suppose he's made his money now. This isn't like another one of wanting a Super Bowl ring. You go to Green Bay with your best chance in it. NFC is probably going to end up going through Green Bay again. Or it should have gone through Green Bay again.
I mean, the Niners ended that.
Yeah, exactly. It should have gone through Green Bay last year.
Talanoa Hufanga blocking that punch.
I think he wants to ring it to put him in the category of Hall of Famer first ballot options.
Yes,
he needs a ring because the guy is.
I still think he is.
Great hands.
And he's saying Julio has a relationship with Matt LaFleur, apparently.
Yeah, Matt Fleur was at, I think they were the colleges together or something like that.
Okay.
Run on them lines. Who have you got? Who's your fourth one?
So my fourth one is Dave's fifth one, but we have a disagreement about where he goes, and he is the linebacker from Minnesota, Anthony Barr.
He's another one. I'm shocked he got let go.
Yeah, me too. Because when I was researching him, he's not as old as I thought he was.
About 28.
I think
He's only been in the league a bit. He's only
think
been in
he's
the league
in-
6-7 years, isn't he?
I'm going to check that, but I think he's early 30s.
The thing is, though, yes, this league is getting a very, very quick league now. Players are going after, or GMs are going after speed now, unless your name's Belichick in the defensive line. They are going off speed, and if it's because he's getting a bit older, a bit slower, it's probably the same as Dante. It's probably the same.
Barr's 31.
Okay, so he's a little bit old. So he's been in the league, what, 8 years?
Yeah, but I feel like he's been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great
I
player.
only start,
Great
I
leader.
I only started watching it about 10 years ago, and I don't remember him ever not being there.
I think my first Super Bowl was 2001. That's the first one I watched,
Yes,
I think.
I mean, I was in 01, I was 3 years old. I'd have been maybe even, yeah, I'd have been 3 years old at that Super Bowl.
Oh, God, that makes me feel really old because I was 18, 19.
Okay, so he's 30, not 31. My bad.
Okay. I've gone for Ndamukong Suh.
He's going back to Tampa, isn't he?
It's not signed and sealed yet. If he doesn't go to Tampa,
Oh, just before I say, I had Barr going to the Falcons, and Dave had him going to Washington.
Sorry, I thought you completely done that then. So I've got Suh going to New England.
Just talk about the point of this, which is meant to be landing spots.
Yeah, I thought you already said that. So yeah, like I said, I got Suh going to New England. He is what the offense or defensive line needs to help Jude, to help Lawrence Guy, to help Juan Bentley and a couple of other guys that are really good. Christian Barsham is another one. 71 sacks in 190 games, 5 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 587 tackles. Yes, he's got his bit of disciplinary issues at times. He does get a lot of penalties thrown his way. That's probably because he's size and the way he plays. He's won his ring. He was okay when he was at Miami as well. He went to Tampa. He obviously likes the warmer countries, parts of the world. But he's someone I would like to see in New England.
Okay, I want to move on to Dave's last one first because I'm interested in your opinion.
Go on then.
He has Deontay Hightower. And he
The
has
leader.
Staying at the Patriots or retiring.
Yeah, I think that is a very likely one, possibly going into coaching. He's the sort of person who'd like a Jared Mayo. I really like Jared Mayo, what he does as coaching. He's a very good play caller as well. I can see him.
I don't know that much.
He is a leader.
I don't know that much about Hightower, so I'm not going to say much.
He is a leader in that defense for New England.
Dave says, but it has to be a team-friendly deal for the Pats.
Oh, I think it will. It'll be, if it is, it'll be a home-time deal. He doesn't need a lot of money. He's made his money.
He's an incredible player.
He is. He is so incredible. He was still making plays last year for us.
Yeah.
Him and, he's superb. So I've ticked off 4.
Yeah, I've got 4 down.
Yep. Dave's done 4 as well, which is all cool.
Dave's done all 5.
They've done all 5 now, has he? Cool.
Yeah.
See, my last one's changed. I changed my last one 3 times. I went JPP, Landon Collins, and Joe Harden. But I settled on Emmanuel Sanders. I think he's going to retire.
I think Sanders has a year left in him. I don't know where, but I think he has a year left in him.
Could he go back down to New Orleans? Could he go to somewhere like Jacksonville?
I'd take him back to San Francisco for a year. I don't think
Yeah.
we should have released him, to be honest.
New York, the blue side of New York could do with him. Could he go to Green Bay's? Another one could chase a ring. We know Rodgers likes his veteran style wide receivers.
Yes.
He trusts them. He's 12 years. He's 700 receptions, just over 700 receptions with just over 9,200 yards.
Sanders was about a foot off winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah. 51 touchdowns.
If Jimmy hadn't have just overthrown that ball.
Some could say he was a coin flip of a Super Bowl as well.
Yes.
He was on Buffalo last year, wasn't he?
But if Jimmy had just thrown that ball properly to an open Emmanuel Sanders, we'd have scored the touchdown, and it would have been game over with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Are you on about Odell, or are you on about Emmanuel, or on about someone else? Or are you on about Dante?
I think he's talking about Sanders, the GOAT. Bill.
Oh, Emmanuel. Yeah, he did. Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he? That's when he was in New Orleans, wasn't it? Yes. He was at New Orleans.
It was when he was at Denver, wasn't it?
I thought it was New Orleans.
Because he said trade accepted by the Broncos.
Almost got the trade accepted, but I thought it was when he was at New Orleans. or I could be mixing it with Brandon Cooks, actually, because they both. Yeah, I think I'm getting a mix up with Brandon Cooks. I think he would do a job anyway, wouldn't he? As a WR3, someone like that. One of these, teach Khalil Harry how to catch. That'd be quite good.
Yeah. Did you ever? I don't think it was New Orleans because Sanders only played for New Orleans last year. 2020 season.
Yeah, then he went to Buffalo. So it must have been, it must have been from Denver. Must have been, yeah. Your last gentleman.
Justin Houston.
Interesting.
Very, very good pass rusher.
It is. Where have you got him going?
Kansas City.
Wow.
They've just lost Ingram and they need a good pass rusher.
They do. Admittedly, when Ingram went there, they did step up their pass rush, didn't he? He is good. He is a good, quick pass rusher.
So I feel like Justin Houston would slot in well there. And we've already said how good of a coach Andy Reid is. It just makes sense, I think.
True. Very, very true. That is my top 5. That is Dave's top 5, and that is your top 5. If anyone else thinks we've missed someone,
there will be people we missed.
Yeah. If you want us to give us another top 5 to do in the next few weeks, drop us a comment, drop us a link on our socials, which are now scrolling across there. I think we've got a couple coming up for the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
I think we've got a couple of things coming up in the next couple of weeks. Camp or preseason starts in end of July, isn't it?
Yeah, about a month away before we get something to actually talk about.
Yep, not filling an hour every Thursday night.
I think it was about 2 hours last Thursday, wasn't it?
No, I think it's about an hour and a half. I think we've got a team coming up, haven't we? We've got another team thing coming up that day, so we've got to do the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Which is going to be interesting.
I think we might need a podcast on that, just focused on that, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be a one, I think. Give us a follow, Third and Long on Facebook, on Twitter. YouTube, we are the Third and Long podcast as well. Yeah, Dave said an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got our NFL Fantasy League. We've got a few spaces left on there. Come and join on that. When they're filled up, you are going to change the date around. Is that correct?
Yes, I am going to. I'm going to try and find a time and date that works for everyone.
About Thursday at 8:30. Do it while we're doing the show.
I think it's currently set for Thursday at 7:00.
We could actually do that during the show.
I might set it for like 7:30, and then in the lead up to the show.
Good call. Good call, Mr. Hope.
Or should we just have a podcast that is just as making our picks? Have it up on the screen.
Oh, that's actually quite cool. That is actually a cool idea. That is actually quite a cool idea.
Just as talking over our fancy draft.
I'm actually liking that idea.
I know. I want to go back to what happened to me and my friend a couple of years ago.
Go for
Some
it.
guy picked his whole team, and he had a good team.
Dave likes that idea, mind you.
And then everyone went offline apart from me and Maria, and then he released his entire roster.
Why?
I don't know. My mate picked up DeAndre Hopkins. I picked up Josh Jacobs and Tyreek Hill. I then traded Jacobs for Aaron Jones, and I won, even though I had first pick overall and took Michael Thomas, and I won that league.
Good go, mate. Nice
Tyreek
work.
Hill. I had Tyreek Hill and who had an incredible season that season, and I think it was Stephon Diggs.
I seem to
had
have
that
a
incredible season.
run. I had a run of bad luck for a few years, where I had like the top, like a Christian McCaffrey. I had Jay Ajayi one year off the charts for the first 4 weeks, and then got injured.
Yeah.
That blew my season. And so that kind of thing. I know Odell Beckham when he was going off the charts, and he got injured, and it's like give me some luck. We are now uploading these on Spotify.
Do we have a new Spotify?
Huh?
We have a new Spotify.
Not yet. They are going to be onto the original. We are going to upload them onto the new one. Just involves me downloading and changing things and moving things over, which will be done. Next week there is going to be a couple of new entrances, pictures going up on there with mine, Ollie's, and Dave's socials on there. So give us a follow on there as well. You get to see our lovely mugs on Twitter. Hey. I don't use Twitter that often, so it'd be a bit boring.
I tend to retweet stuff about the 49ers and Bolton.
I just put random stuff on there. I normally see me choosing songs on Radio X. That's what I normally tweet. But ladies and gentlemen,
that's how you do about me. You mock me about my Spotify choices.
Queen Taylor over there. No, wrong way.
Nothing wrong with a bit of Tay-Tay.
Yes. When my son, who's 10, asked for Alexa to play Last Resort, just make sure it doesn't come on, said something. Yeah, as Kelly says.
What's wrong with Love Island?
And Love Island. No. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being involved. Thank you for getting involved in the show. We will be back same time, same place next Thursday. Just leaves me to say that one thing, I suppose, isn't it?
And the same way.
Stay safe, Paul.